It wasn't a packed house, but a healthy number of supporters of the four contenders gathered inside the Jigo School's gymnasium last night to back their favorites. Republican Frank Blas Jr., Independent Jonathan Diaz, and Democrats Madeline Bordallo and Carlo Dizon.
My experience distinguishes me from my opponents, and my effectiveness as a non-voting delegate is not measured solely through the number of bills that I introduce, but also through the work done in committee and included in other bills and my work with federal agencies.
As your representative to Washington, it takes more than claims of seniority and established relationships to have any success in representing Guam in D.C. And I say this because all the issues and the problems that we have here on Guam today can be directly related to how we are represented in Washington.
The Simon Sanchez High School Advanced Placement Government class organized this forum, and the students in the class came up with and asked the questions.
The majority of Guam's population is part of the middle or lower socioeconomic class. As Guam's congressional representative, how would you make grants, scholarships, and other forms of financial aid more readily available to students on Guam? Your response, Mr. Dizon.
What I intend to do as delegate would be to ensure that not only do we get funding for improving the quality of education on our island, but to also ensure that the funding that is available is made available to the public in a transparent and accountable manner. Right now, there are a lot of programs nationally that the current congressional office is not taking advantage of.
Independent Jonathan Diaz made his point by stepping down from the stage and walking into the crowd.
This is the basic difference between these candidates and Jonathan Diaz. I am one of you. I have been a teacher, a campus minister, I have been an algebra server, a director of recruitment, and most importantly, a son of Guam.
And Diaz posed his own question.
Things are not different. Roads are still problems. Floods. Your school, for God's sakes. Lord, have mercy on us. Out of all of the high schools, Simon Sanchez, I have gone into your schools and I have seen what you've had to deal with. And I'm sorry that government, the public structure, these guys affected you and what you're going through.
Senator Blas argued for his experience and leadership learned in the trenches of the Guam legislature.
It takes leadership, it takes action, and it takes grabbing the opportunities that lay before the challenges, that are the challenges that lay before us. I stand here today, ladies and gentlemen, with a record of accomplishment that was obtained through leadership action and finding the opportunities in the challenges that we faced.
Bordallo warned that a change in leadership now could result in lost ground.
This election may well decide if the progress we have made on many issues continues, or do we go backwards. I'm running for re-election to ensure that our families will have an advocate for their success, so that they will be able to raise their children in a great community. I'm a mama bear.
Dizon called for a change in leadership now.
Because right now what is missing is leadership on our island, leadership not just in education, but in other areas as well. And we need a delegate who understands the value of education. And that is something that I intend to do if I was to win this seat. Thank you.
After Saturday's primary, the field will narrow by at least one and maybe two. Either Bordallo or Dizon will win the Democratic nomination, and only one will advance to the general election. And Diaz will need at least 10% of the total votes cast in the delegates' race Saturday to advance. For Republican Frank Blas Jr., it's a warm-up for November. Kevin Kerrigan, PNC News.